Wrestling with the Future proudly presents the return of the Refs Roundtable. Hello, everybody. I'm Mad Dog DeCipio, joined as I am each and every week by Jam and Jake Hudson. Jake, how are you? You're looking very handsome, very dashing tonight. Good-looking guy.
I'm doing better. Ready
There's
to
a
do
brightness. I see a brightness above your head, my friend. What's going on?
It's the light.
Oh, it's the lights. Oh, is that? I
Yeah.
thought it was just your head. We are also joined by the Texas Rose herself, Amelia Firecracker Chapman, now residing in the Sunshine State of Florida. Amelia,
Hey.
how the hell are you? We had a lot of. Let me tell you something. If people tell you that we get responses to the show, that's an understatement. We got a lot of response to Amelia Chapman's appearance, along with Jimmy Phillips, the Gino Hernandez episode we did. I got to tell you something, girlfriend. You know, people liking you. They're liking you around here.
Uh-oh. I was wondering if it was a good thing or a bad thing at first when you said that.
You better watch with the uh-oh, because Jake does uh-oh, okay?
Yeah.
Every time I say, Jake, I want to talk to you, he goes, uh-oh.
I'll take it.
So let him tell everybody, we are back. The Refs Roundtable is back, and it's very appropriate that it's back in February. It was February of 2020 that this show lost its first co-host, Jeff the Ref Robinson. Jeff and I started the Wrestling with the Future podcast from a mere two-man operation to where it is literally global now. We were like the little garage band who could and did. And we are literally worldwide. 271 radio stations around the world, 304 podcast platforms worldwide, and 2 television stations, one in Canada, one in Great Britain, BBC 4 in Great Britain, and Skynet in Canada. And I will tell you that we get a lot of response to the shows that we do, but one of the things that we were never able to do until now was to bring back the Refs Roundtable. Let me tell everybody what the Refs Roundtable is. If you have followed this show, you know that we had one night set aside. Every Tuesday night was the Refs Roundtable. Every Thursday was the flagship Wrestling with the Future show. And on Tuesday nights, Jeff the Ref Robinson and his co-host of the week, whoever it may be, they would pick a subject or 3 or 4 subjects and just talk about them randomly. Whatever the news was that week in wrestling. Jake tells me, Jam and Jake Hudson tells me that we have some news to discuss this week. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But I want to bring Amelia in right at the top of the show. Amelia, are you familiar with the roundtable? Do you know how it works?
No, go ahead and explain it to me. It's my first roundtable.
Okay. Well, we're going to break in good. Here's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to talk about any number of general wrestling subjects. Some very specific, some just general.
Little Lemmy's in the chat.
What's that again?
Little Lemmy's in the chat.
Oh, Little Lemmy's here. Hey, Lemmy, how are you?
She's got my emote. I have an emote now on Twitch.
Okay. Terrific. Our friend Little Lemmy's here. I don't know. Lemmy's real good for asking questions too. But I wanted to have, and it's very appropriate that Lemmy is in the chat because I wanted to have a woman's perspective on the show. The one thing that we never did on the Refs Roundtable, ever, we never had a woman as a panelist. Well, Amelia, the Firecracker Chapman, is going to be with us each and every week now, whether she wants to be or not.
Oh, okay.
She ain't going to be here. And hello, Mr. DeCipio. If you call me Mr. Lemmy, I'm going to knock your ass out, girlfriend. Lemmy, I love you, dear, but it's Angelo, not Mr. Oh my God!
Yeah, or don't call him an old man. Don't call him an old man.
Yeah, no shit, brother. I'm 63 years old. When people call me Mister, I feel it. Okay, I feel it. It hits me right here in the breadbasket. So, Jake, this is your role. This
Yeah,
is how Jammin' Jay cuts and rolls. Tell me, my friend, what's new in the world of professional wrestling this week?
yeah. Number one, I think it was yesterday. Brian Kendrick's debut got derailed after some comments came out.
So
I think
tell
it was
everybody what happened, Jake.
the basically Brian Kendrick's contract ended Wednesday morning. Brian was working with me. They
Right.
signed AEW signed him that day. He was gonna have a match with John Moxley on TV.
Wow.
And,
That day.
but unfortunately, minutes before the match, Tony Khan canceled the match due to the fact that the comments came out because of
Well,
David Spickenspan. I think it's David Spickenspan or
David Bixenspan. Yeah, I know who he is. So what happened? Amelia, what were the comments?
I can't remember. I haven't watched it yet. I have it recording. So go ahead.
So Jake, what were the comments? Take your hand up.
let me find them because I should have this up and ready.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we don't have time to do that, Jake. That's not how we roll here. But
Sorry,
let me
let
ask you a question about that. Here you go, Brian Kendricks. Okay, so let's find out what Brian Kendricks said or did.
Because
okay, so apparently,
it was comments from like 10 years ago.
Okay, here's what he said. I spread the most vile comments without thinking the damage it would cause. I will live with this regret for the rest of my life. I'm truly sorry for the pain that I have caused. It does not tell you what he said, but it does issue an apology.
Yeah.
There must have been something very serious for Tony Khan, who is by all means, by all measures, I should say, a fairly laid back guy and pretty tolerant of a lot of stuff. So, Amelia, what do you know about what happened?
I haven't had a chance to really look at it. I should have, but I've been so busy at work. I apologize. I was going to watch it later.
Yeah. Apparently, he was supposed to wrestle John Moxley. That match did not take place. Evidently, it's been probably 4 years or 5 years since this comment was made.
10 years. It was 10 years. It was 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years. Okay. 10 years, and he's paying for a comment now.
Yeah.
Here's my question: Why wait until first of all, now that I know the context, shame on Tony Khan. Shame on you, Tony. You knew you had 10 years in the making. His comment was there. You waited till the man's debut on your network to pull the plug. You should have knew this going in. And if you didn't, you should have picked up your phone and went online like everybody else. It took me 30 seconds, Tony, to do it. Okay? Yeah. So what's your problem, brother? Unless you just want to screw somebody over. That's not cool. Not in my book. It's not cool.
Also, we got some more wrestling news. Shane McMahon is out of WWE after booking himself as the star of the Royal Rumble.
He's out of WWE?
He's been planning it for a while.
Okay, talk to me about this. I don't know about this at all.
This was
are you saying? Hold on, let me ask you a question, Jay, because I want to make sure that my perspective is right here. Because I'm going to have something to say about it.
Yeah.
So what you're saying to me, and Amelia, you're familiar with this too, apparently. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. Then, so Shane books himself in the Royal Rumble and calls himself the star of the Royal Rumble.
He was number 30.
Okay, number 30. So
Yeah.
now you're telling me he's out of the company because of doing that? Is that what I'm understanding? Somebody tell me yes or no.
Well, when you're the Royal Rumble, you want to be the number 30 because basically you're the fresh person out of everybody, pretty much. And he's actually been wanting to be out of that because, as you know, Stephanie's always been Daddy's favorite, and Stephanie. So it's been Hunter and Stephanie.
Now
you know
Amelia Firecracker Chapman is getting to it. That's the bottom line, folks.
Yeah, it's been Stephanie and Hunter. Well,
Daddy's
not
girl.
Hunter. Yeah, exactly.
Daddy's girl. First of all, let's be real clear, Amelia. Shane doesn't need Daddy's money because Shane's got billions of his own.
Oh yeah, he's got other companies that he's got, as far as under his name and everything.
A young man that is well diversified.
Oh yeah.
That's for sure. That's documented. He's got plenty of money.
Yeah.
And doesn't need Daddy's money. However, his daughter, as Amelia points out, has always been Daddy's favorite.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And Paul Levesque, aka Triple H.
Triple H.
Paul is he from day one. He did whatever it took to get into the good graces.
Oh, definitely.
Of Papa Bear.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Especially turning, against China, who he liked in the very beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my question then, Jake. Was this a convenient exit for him, or would he have gone anyway? What do you think?
I think he would gone anyway.
I think you're right.
Because here's the thing. Because Shane McMahon didn't want to be part of. I've heard that Shane didn't want the business. Shane wanted to go into his own.
Shane never wanted it.
He wanted to prove something, I think, to his dad that he could be a wrestler, even though if he wanted to be.
You're talking to a guy who called the shot a year ago.
Yeah.
Okay. I called the shot a year ago on this show, Wrestling with the Future. I said Shane McMahon, within a year's time, will be out of the company. He doesn't need it. He doesn't want it.
No.
He did it basically to appease his kids and his father. His kids wanted to see him wrestle. His kids wanted to see him take a bump off a 30-foot ladder.
Yes.
Okay. He doesn't need to get beat up anymore, and he certainly, God knows, doesn't need the money. When you follow the business like I do, some things become pretty evident and very apparent. Like some people just don't belong there. Shane McMahon's one of those people that just doesn't belong there.
No.
Is he good at what he did? Yeah. Was he a great performer? Yeah. But let's be honest about it. And Amelia, I think you would not disagree with me. He was basically a glorified stuntman.
Yeah. Basically, yes.
Yeah.
He was a stand-in.
So, what do you make of this? Where, if you're Vince and you know that your son is leaving and your daughter and son-in-law are the heir apparents to your company, you put your Vince McMahon hat on, Amelia, and tell me what you do.
Well, basically, of course, is going to make my daughter in charge and make sure that Shane has the little bittiest percentage of the company if possible. And of course, the grandkids are going to be more in charge and make sure that Paul is not going to have any part of it at all, if possible, because if something happens to Stephanie, he's going to make sure it's going to be a McMahon. And it's going to probably go down to Shane's kids, if possible.
And I wouldn't disagree with that. And I think that's a very plausible scenario. Go ahead, Jake.
Number one, they're saying that it's, I've heard that they might or might not be sold to Disney.
Well, and that's a very valid point, Jake. There is a lot of talk about a sale or a possible Well, I think
merger, probably.
what? Say again, Amelia?
Maybe a merger.
Well, yeah, they've been talking about a merger with Disney for a long time. But remember something: Disney already did wrestling, and a lot of people don't remember it. But the guy who started that company is a dear friend of mine. His name is Eddie Mansfield, and he started. It was called. You know it, Jake. The XWF, right? Am I right?
XWF. I remember that was the company that Hogan.
XWF that ran out of Disney in Florida.
Right.
And I feel, Amelia, you're in Florida now, right?
Yes.
I call you the Texas Rose because your heart's still in Texas, kid.
Right. I always will be.
I hear you. We're actually going to talk about Texas tonight too, because there's a lot of stuff happening in Texas wrestling that we got to cover.
Oh, absolutely.
Go ahead, Jake. You were commenting on the possible sale merger.
Here's the thing, and the thing is, and I thought that Kevin, what's his name, Kevin, the guy Shark Tank, not Kevin, one Mr. Wonderful, but the other Kevin, the first season Kevin.
Oh, Kevin Von Erich?
No, from Shark Tank.
Oh, Kevin from
Kevin, the infomercial guy.
I don't know. I honestly
Kevin,
I don't.
Oh, gosh.
Mr. Wonderful, Kevin?
No, not that guy. The other Kevin. He does like the infomercials.
Oh.
Okay, so what's the story about him?
He was one. I thought he was one of the people that did the XWF. I'm moving to the desk.
Okay. No, that's quite all right. But don't do it too often.
The only time I do it on the shows and stuff is when I need to plug up my damn charger.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Do that now while you're at the desk. Okay. So here's the thing. Be it as it may, whatever this Kevin guy is, that's irrespective at this point. At some point, WWE, I think it's inevitable at this point. They're either going to be sold outright or sold as a part of a merger. To merge with another company. Disney seems like the most likely company right now because they've been involved with wrestling before.
Oh yes, with the movies and everything that they've done. Yes.
Yeah. The other possibility that's been bantered around, Amelia, let's talk about this one. ESPN. That's been talked about. What do you make of that? That's been on the table a long time. Actually, about 3 or 4 years now. And it's still there. They're talking about, here's the big players. And Amelia, tell me what you know. And then I'll jump back to Jake. You've got Disney. You've got ESPN. You've got Amazon. You've got Roku and Hulu. All making a play for WWE.
Netflix.
Okay. I understand why all of them. Yeah, Netflix. But the two big ones seem to be Disney and Netflix right now because of the streaming capability. Disney has a par excellence streaming service called Disney Plus. And Netflix, that's all they do is stream.
Yes.
So, and the other thing too is they have the money to purchase the library, the video library. So, what do you think? What, in your opinion? Well, let me ask you this. In your opinion, tell me, and as a fan, what would you like to see?
Well, I mean, it's like when I was a kid, like, back then you had to purchase Disney, you had to purchase HBO, you had to purchase all these other channels just to watch that. And it's kind of ridiculous to do that because, why not just let everybody watch? Just like when you're watching football, you could just watch regular TV. Why do you have to purchase those extra channels just to watch particular shows? It's not right.
Yeah.
You want to, fans to be able to watch shows.
What
What do you think, Jake?
You know, in here's the also ESPN also had that classic. That's how I found AWA wrestling.
That's true. ESPN again. ESPN's been involved with wrestling on a couple of different levels. The UWF was broadcast on ESPN. The original UWF with Bill Watts.
Yeah.
Universal Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
And then Herb Abrams United Wrestling Federation.
Yeah.
Both of them were UWF, incidentally.
Yeah.
They've also been involved with the AWA and the National Wrestling Alliance. So, you know, ESPN has a long history of promoting wrestling. And
Nicholas says that Disney and ESPN are the same company.
Exactly. It's the same. It's just a branch. It's just a branch. That's all it is.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Also, you know, if it wasn't for ESPN Classic, I would have never watched AWA or Herb Abrams' UWF. And by the way, when you talk about UWF, you had either put the suffix Herb Abrams or Cowboy Bill Watts.
Exactly.
That's where I watched all the old wrestling episodes for the WCCW and got caught up with back in the day when wrestling was wrestling.
Well, a lot of that stuff came from Texas, by the way. People don't realize that. A lot of it came from the Sportatorium in Dallas.
Yes, exactly.
That's one place, Amelia, that the one wrestling venue that eluded me. I could never get to the Sportatorium.
Yeah, me too.
I have heard legend of that building.
We already talked about a dishwasher. We already talked about it.
It's torn down now, from what I understand. It's.
What are you talking about, Jake?
Take a lap dishwasher. Angela's thoughts on Shane McMahon being fired from Diddy. We already talked about it.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, take a lap dishwasher. Here we go. Okay, well, you know what? Let's do that, Jake. Amelia, let's open up the chat. Let's take a look at everybody.
Okay, sure. Hi, everyone.
Pook is here. Nikki's here. Nikki Loken. How you doing, Nicholas? Pook Ninja. We got
he was telling me that was the guy that was the guy.
Lap is here. Hey Lap, how you doing, brother? And Kickflip is here.
Kickflip has been here. That's what Brian Kendrick was.
Okay, so Kendrick said some anti-Semitic stuff. And
9/11 and the Holocaust
was espousing conspiracy theories. All right. Well, you know what? He should be bitch slapped then.
That's the same thing. That's the same thing. Whoopi Goldberg got suspended for.
I tell you what, Pook Ninja also brings up ESPN was responsible for WCCW, which is I just talked about, and USWA, which I just talked about.
Oh yeah.
So I'm curious. Let me throw something out to the chat room. If you're Vince McMahon, if you're Vince, what's your next move? What's your next move? Anybody in the chat room want to take that? Let's leave that question out there for the chat room. Let them jump on that one.
Kendrick is claiming that some of the posts he made was 10, 12 years ago.
At least 10, yeah. At least 10 we know of.
Here's the thing. You know, the thing is now we have a thing called social media. Back in the day, you didn't have social media. You didn't have YouTube. You didn't have all these platforms.
And that's a really good point, Amelia. Is it fair? Is social media a fair excuse, if you want to use that word? Is it a fair excuse, or is it just a cop-out to get people terminated, to dredge up the hate, so to speak?
I think it's just a cop-out, to be honest with you, because they're waiting so long just to bring something up that happened 10, 15 years ago. Why not happen right then and there? Bring it up now when it happens.
Tony Khan waited to this guy's debut?
Mhm.
Are you telling me you waited
minutes
till this
before
guy's
the
debut?
minutes before the debut, minutes
Mhm.
before to
Mhm.
cancel it
Yeah,
because
minutes before.
Mhm.
no,
Okay, really?
Right.
Are you going to tell me with all the technology we have
Mhm.
that you didn't know something a day ahead of time or a week
Mhm.
ahead of time?
Mhm.
Please
Mhm.
insult my intelligence some more.
Yeah. It's like using
yeah,
something that they did something back in high school. Like, come on, really? Don't do that. That's not fair.
You're absolutely right.
You
So
know.
nobody in the chat room has taken up my offer to tell me what they would do if they were Vince. I'm surprised. I figured Pook Ninja would have something to say about that.
yeah.
Pook, I want to hear you on this one, Pook. You're Vince McMahon right now. You got the money. What's the first move? What's your first move? Do you restructure the company or do you sell? Somebody answer the question for me.
Sell. Because he doesn't want to be in the like we say all the time, like you always say, he doesn't want to be in the wrestling business. He wants to be in this
Jake, I've been saying for 3 years already, Vince McMahon is not in the wrestling business. He's never been in the wrestling business.
He's been in the wrestling business.
Exactly. His father is in the wrestling. Here we go. Here's Pook. Here's Pook. I think Vince should have already had other people. You're absolutely right, Pook. Absolutely. Or sell it to the highest bidder. First of all, if Vince McMahon had any sense left, we know he's got pride, but pride has nothing to do with common sense. He's a very proud man, but he's not a very smart man when it comes to matters of common sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Dishwasher says,
Jake, we can't do this, Jake. I'm speaking.
Sorry.
Can't do this while I'm talking because I'm answering Pook's question here. Had he sold to the highest bidder, which he would have had an opportunity to do at least 4 or 5 times already, he would have walked away from the wrestling business. I don't think he knows how. I've said this a million times. He does not know how to leave the wrestling business.
No.
It's ego, it's pride, it's shame that you failed. Because let's be honest about it, Vince, you failed. You failed. Your father succeeded at running a wrestling company. You failed at running a wrestling company, but you succeeded immensely in running a television company. That's the difference. You're not in the wrestling business. You're in the television business. Here we go. Dishwasher says, if I was Vince, I would retire. Thank you. I'm with you. Let Steph and Triple H run it.
I got some. What did you guys? I got another question for you guys for the panel.
Say again, Jake.
I got a question for the panel. What did you guys think about Mickie James opening the forbidden door?
Well, what do you think of that, Amelia?
I'll let you take that one.
The forbidden door. She was the women's champion of Impact.
I know what he's getting at. That's why I'm keeping quiet.
She was in the Royal Rumble as the Impact Women's Champion.
I'm waiting for it, Jake. Go ahead.
Women's Champion, the World Women's Champion.
World Women's Champion. It doesn't matter. You know why? Because the WWE has a Tuesday champion, a Monday champion, a Friday afternoon champion, a Thursday afternoon at dinner, 4:30 in the afternoon champion. They got a Saturday morning cartoon champion. They've got a champion for everything. Everybody in that company has a fucking belt.
They have 3 sets of belts. They have 3 sets of belts. They have 3 sets for the men's, 3 for the tags, 3 for the women. They even have a women's tag.
Yeah, well, guess what? Those mean
Impact
nothing.
did it before you. Impact did it before you. They had knockout.
The point is, Jake, here's the point. And it's as simple as this. Those titles mean absolutely nothing because they're props. They're merchandise. It's merch.
Yeah.
That's what they're. This is to tell the parents, buy this for your kid.
Mm-hmm.
The kid
Yep.
sits in front of the TV, and Brock Lesnar's got this big shiny fucking belt around him. Oh, mommy, I want one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And guess what? For $60, you can have one.
Oh yeah.
And if you
400
want
for
to
the big
spend
one.
if you want to spend 400 or 500, you can have the real one.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Craziness.
Yeah.
Hold on, where's my belt? Where's my toy title?
Here
I
we
think
go.
there you go.
Take a Lap says someone needs to challenge the independent contractor bullshit. Absolutely, brother.
Uh-huh. Oh, there's the belt.
Because if Vince says he's
The
making
belt's coming
movies
out.
with TV, well, then his guy should be part of SAG and give union. But you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
Because
Yep,
guess
exactly.
what? When I worked on radio and television, I had to be a member of SAG and AFTRA.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I never made a movie in my life, but I still had to be part of SAG and AFTRA.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because I was on television and radio.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I did for a long time.
If you're talking about belts, this is the best
Yeah,
belt.
okay, Jake, you can put your belt down now. You can put your little toy belt down, brother.
By the way, thank you to Jimmy Thunder from Down Under
thank you, Jimmy Thunder from Down Under for sure.
Yeah. By the way, he sent me another pack. He sent me a care pack from New Zealand.
He needs to send me a care pack for taking care of you. Oh my God.
Yeah.
But you know what? It really is kind of perplexing to think that Vince McMahon could easily for a very healthy profit sold WWE when he had leverage to do so. But now, Amelia and Jake, his leverage is being wandered away from him. Okay?
Yeah.
It's being diminished. It's being devalued.
Yes.
It's being downplayed. He doesn't have...
Angela, wrong banner.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. It's important. Because he doesn't have the juice anymore.
No, he doesn't.
That he did once. You know?
Yeah.
He doesn't have the stroke that he did.
No.
You know? So, I mean, anybody wants to take... Jake, take a shot at that. What do you think?
I think a lot of... here's the thing. Vince only cares about the TV stuff. He doesn't, here's the thing. He had so many people, back in the day, what's the guy had to, Kevin Kelly said that he was under during the Pillman's Got a Gun segment. He was under a table having to.
That was horrible television, and it was awful wrestling.
And by the way, and then he was talking about after the day after having to go back to corporate and having to deal with the international people saying, "Oh, why did you do that? Why did you guys do that?"
Well, first of all, it's not the first time, and I want to remind people. It's not the first time that a gun angle was used in wrestling, and it wasn't the last time. In fact,
in WTNA had a
gun angle with Hornswoggle.
No, it was Puppet. It was Puppet. No, it was Puppet.
But it was Hornswoggle is who it was. That's the person it was.
No, it was.
Okay, who's Puppet then? Tell me who's Puppet?
Puppet was a little person wrestling LP who passed away in 2020.
Okay, I thought it was Hornswoggle. It sure looked like him.
Here's the thing. Back in the day,
you know what I'm talking about was a horrible angle.
Yeah,
the gun angle was a horrible angle in front of children.
Yes,
you don't do that in front of kids.
And also
some things just piss me off. Okay.
What
I come on the show and I try to be. I try to be objective and I try to hear all sides, but Sometimes I just got to speak up, first of all, because I can. And number two, because I can. And number three, I'm Italian and I can't keep my mouth shut. Okay? So, when something like that happens and it really irritates the shit out of me, I can either say something about it or keep quiet. And it's hard for me to keep quiet. And then just, it's just, let's be honest about it. It really is.
Hey, with Pesci,
hey,
you got
Pesci's
a link.
Here.
Pesci, you got a link. You can come on.
Pesh, let me ask Pesci quick. Pesci, you follow wrestling. I got a question for you. What would you do right now to change the landscape of pro wrestling, Pesh? Straight up, straight shoot question. What would you do if you had the book right now? What would you do to change up the face of wrestling? And Dishwasher says that absolutely right. You're absolutely right, Lap. It was awful, awful promo. That was garbage promo. If you even want to categorize it as promo.
He could come on. He got a link.
Pesci says too much to list.
Hey, Pesci,
kidding,
you got a link. You could come on and talk about it. He has a link.
Well, Pesh, why don't you join us? You have a link. Click on. Give me 10 minutes of your time. Give me 15 minutes of your time. Come on.
This is actually a great show.
Oh, good. Pesci's coming on.
By the way, oh God, he hit the wrong button.
Uh-oh.
He doesn't realize he hit the wrong button.
I'm not sure.
Alexa, stop. Alexa.
Did you hear?
He's here. He's here.
I booted myself. I just booted myself. I don't know how the hell that happened. Holy shit.
Just woke up. He said give 3 minutes. By the way, if you want to be a guest on the show, there's a way how.
This is how you want to be a guest on the show? Hit me up at wrestlingwiththefuture@gmail.com or email Jam and Jay Cutson. You can find him everywhere.
At Plot26 at PO at
Plot. But don't bother Amelia because she doesn't have the time of day for you.
Yeah. if you want to be on the refs roundtable, just
hit up Jam and Jake.
Plot26 at gmail.com.
POW. And we got Papa Bear. Hello.
Yeah. Hey,
sir.
This is an old. I remember watching. Sorry.
Take your time, Jake.
Yeah, it's watching like the old Supercards, like Super Clash and stuff. Watching Jeff Jarrett having Jeff Jarrett as the I think the AWA champion or something.
Right.
How hard was it to run one of those, like Supercards?
How much money you got?
Because
how much money you got? Millions of dollars. But they made millions of dollars.
I see people say, "That's what's up, Boston?" I see people all the time say, "Oh, I could actually run a wrestling company." You don't if you don't have the experience to run a company. Like
if you got the experience to run a wrestling company, God bless you. If you have the money to run a wrestling company, I want to show me your money.
Yeah.
Besh.
Echo.
Absolutely.
Run a wrestling company. God bless you.
Sorry, I had to turn off the old one. Sorry, hold on.
How you doing, brother?
Hey, take your speaker.
See, I'm not the only one that had technical issues today.
There you go. Hey, Pesh, I gotta get you one of these. I gotta get you one of these.
My other nickname I have is
So Pesh, you follow the biz. Let me ask you a question. There's a lot of people that everybody's got an opinion how they would do things, right?
Yeah.
So, and I'm sure you're no different, but you bring a different set of eyeballs because you're a cerebral individual. You think things out. If I'm giving you the book and the pencil right now, and you got a chance to change the landscape of pro wrestling, to make it better than it's ever been, what's your first move? What do you do, and how do you?
Is it for the WCW company? Or excuse me, is it for AEW? Or is it for WWE?
It's for wrestling in general, the entire sport of wrestling.
Well,
what's the first thing you do to change the landscape?
Well, for instance, for WWE, they don't let their guys do their own promos. So for them, the first thing you got to initiate there is you got some good guys up there. Let's see what these guys could do without someone telling them to do from a writing standpoint.
Oh,
they
man.
already know how to wrestle.
You're asking for a lot, Pesh.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying AEW kind of does it. Let their guys talk. Like Brian Danielson came on and did a promo yesterday, and he goes, "You're going to let a guy wearing a dinosaur mask run the tag team division? That's a real promo right there. I like that." That
exactly.
Kind of stuff.
And
they got problems. Like yesterday, for instance, they led off the show AEW with a no-name guy going against Dean Ambrose. You could have put one of your solid guys there.
Absolutely. I want to take a minute, Pesh. I want to take a minute to acknowledge the gentleman on the screen. This is the late Jeff the Ref Robinson. Jeff is the reason for the Refs Roundtable. I created this show with Jeff 2 years ago. He died 2 years ago this month.
3. I thought she was 3. I thought he did this show for 3 years.
No, to 2020. February of 2020.
I think I've seen him on
3 years for the show. Yeah, I thought she did this show for 3 years.
Yeah, the Refs Roundtable for 2.
Comments. Hi, Lemmy. Hi, Pook. Hi, Schmidt. So another thing I would do is, I said with, like, for instance, because both companies are doing something wrong that you could initiate to help both companies a lot better. You know what I mean? Because WWE has about 4 or 5 guys that if you would just kind of let them do their own thing, speak, put them in a program, let it build, it could be interesting. The problem is you never know what's going on. You got to get rid of the belts. You have 2 women's world championship belts. You didn't even build the first one. The women talked about how happy they were to get that first belt a couple years ago and not be called divas. Then you give them 2 of them. Your writers aren't even strong enough to handle 1 belt with strong storylines, let alone 2. You have watered the product down so much with those writers that even if you were to give them the best writer right now, a lot of those characters and storylines are unsavable.
Absolutely.
WWE is in a bad predicament right now that Vince is probably looking at his age like, well, you know what? I'm just going to ride this Lesnar and Roman Reigns thing out until I can't even walk anymore. You know what I mean?
And pretty much, Pesh, that's exactly what he's doing. See, here's the thing, Pesh, and everything you just said, and you can go back in the history, the archives of my show, I have said every fucking thing Sir Pesh just said. And I've been saying it for years. For years. And
nobody does some things that WWE should be doing. WWE does some things that maybe AEW should do and vice versa. But right now, that company is in a lot of trouble because of the writing over the last 5 years and no new building. You're living off Lesnar and Reigns, and you're going to continue to do that.
Their biggest mistake, in my opinion, and I have a woman here who's going to offer an opinion.
Nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you as well.
But by the way, Amelia, this is Sir Pesh. Pesh, this is Amelia Firecracker Chapman.
Nice to meet you.
One of the experts on the Gino Hernandez. One of the experts on the Gino Hernandez thing.
Here's the interesting thing about it: the WWE has had an incredible roster of women that they had no clue what to do with. First of all, lose the whole diva.
Some of the women's angles aren't bad when you really get a good one.
Yeah. So lose the whole diva thing.
Exactly.
Lose the snarky storylines.
Yeah.
Lose the bitching back and forth. Let's just have these women fight like the athletes they are Like
Exactly.
in the days of Moolah, in the days of Wendy Richter, those women beat the shit out of each other.
Like Trish Stratus, she was one of my favorites.
Lita.
Yeah, Lita, Trish Stratus.
Amelia, talk to me.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Victoria.
Victoria Trish Stratus. She was one of my favorites. And then when she left, it just went downhill to me. I really stopped the diva thing. I was like, come on, really? This is ridiculous.
So Amelia, what do they got to do to rejuvenize
AJ Lee,
the women's division? What do they have to do to bring it back to life?
They need to bring back somebody like Moolah.
Right now.
I think they need to bring back somebody like Moolah. Bring back the Moolah training camp. Bring back that. Bring back like it was before. Get rid of the diva champion. Get rid of this diva good-looking lady thing.
And I think Pesh would agree with me. I think I even think Jake would agree.
Kind of gone right now. They've claimed that's gone.
Yeah, but they need to infuse a little old school
back
into this.
They need to bring back. They need to bring back like the people. Like we have a person who works on this show named Michael Murphy, who was trained by one of the Wild Samoans. I forget which one.
Alpha.
See, one of the problems with WWE also is, or in AEW is AEW didn't have a built-up women's division to throw out a women's division. They're the exact opposite of WWE. So I think what AEW's problem was, instead of just saying, "Hi, we got a women's division," they should have built that on YouTube backstage, because sometimes the women's matches that they're force-feeding us on screen is killing their women's division. You only got a couple people in the AEW women's division. I hate to say it. When it comes to when you're talking live TV, you can't just put any women or guys on television if you don't want to look foolish at times. AEW has done that. WWE's problem is they try to be too perfect, and then they water down good characters when characters are kind of getting pushed away from who they are, and they're getting into this WWE mold, and they don't know, am I just doing it?
I'll tell you what, Pook Ninja brings up a couple of names from the past. In fact, every name that he just mentioned has been on this show. Candy Divine, Lalana Kai, Judy Martin, and Joyce Grable, Princess Victoria, Casey Carlisle, Lady Magdalena, Jennifer Lopez. They've all been on the show. They've been here. I've had some of the best women wrestlers on the fucking planet on this show. And when they tell you that it's time for Vince to fucking take a powder, that's saying something. Because these women generally they generally keep their mouths shut, except if they're asked to. But when I ask them and they unload like that, I sit back and I go, yeah, baby. Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing I think you're doing, if you look at Vince McMahon from a business perspective, if that other guy, Nick Khan, they said they handed in those papers of how much money they made and they set a record. There could be a chance they're not even worried about the fans. Vince McMahon could be telling Tony or Nick Khan after they made all that money this year, just keep that number where it's at, and I don't give a fuck what happens.
You know what, Pes? You got to do me a favor.
Yeah.
Well, all I got in front of me is a cup of coffee. I need you to roll me one and smoke it for me.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if I was allowed to smoke on here. So
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. But by the way, here's
one up.
By the way, I already had it right here in front of me. I just didn't know.
I love you, Pesh. You're the best.
Hey, weeks ago we had Princess Victoria.
Love you too, Amelia. Love you too, Jake.
We had Princess Victoria said that she actually cut a good promo on Benny Matt because of what he did to both to Mae Young and to while they're in their 80s.
Did Angelo say what he thought of the Rumble?
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. If they play it out the way it's looking like they're going to play it out,
I knew Brock was going to win it as soon as they had him lose to Lashley. There was not a question in my mind, and I was texting that on the show I was on.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's a dishwasher has an interesting and a really valid take too. Nick, he goes, remember, Nick Khan is business partners with The Rock, Dwayne Johnson.
Right. Yes.
So theoretically, The Rock and Nick Khan could own WWE someday soon. Well, let's be honest about it. The WWE has right now almost $20 million of The Rock's money that he invested. Don't forget, The Rock bought the now defunct XFL.
XFL.
Yes.
For $1 billion, I thought. Was it for $1 billion?
Yeah. He paid somewhere between $15 and $20 million for it.
Oh, $20 million.
Yes.
Yeah, $20 million.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's pocket money for Nick Khan and Dwayne Johnson. That's walking around money.
Yes.
So Lemmy says, "Great shirt, Pesci."
Thank you. Yeah, no, I saw that. Thanks, Len.
If you take the theoretical premise that Nick Khan and The Rock could walk in as owners of WWE, that right there, game changer from jump. It's all on then. It's on because that's old school infusion I was talking about.
And if that's the plan, I wonder why keep that secret though. Because if you're Vince McMahon, at least people, instead of shitting on the product, can go, well, at least The Rock's going to own it soon, and they can keep saying that.
Pesci, I'm going to answer that question for you, brother. It is the best kept secret hiding in plain sight. I don't know if you're aware, but Dwayne Johnson, Nick Khan, and Vince McMahon all posed for a fucking picture together.
Today?
On a Money magazine.
Okay.
Okay.
Don't put that.
Amelia, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. I got somebody can validate that.
Angela, don't put that comment up. Don't put that comment that Mountain Timer just wrote. He's trying to.
You don't even know if it's a real one, Jake. Settle down. Could be a fake person. I don't think the real guy would come in here causing trouble.
Why that says Angelo, send me some money.
That's Sheriff. That's a good guy.
Hey,
he's the guy that nicknamed me Pesci.
Hey, let me tell you something. We got 8 more minutes before we have to do our goodbyes.
Who says we got to leave?
You said keep it under an hour. He said you said keep it under an hour.
Fuck what I said. Who listens to me anyway?
I listen to you because you're the boss.
This is my show. Who listens to me on my show? Nobody.
Yeah,
we will go.
Jake gets upset. I'm doing a show the other day. He's like, Angelo's going to be pissed. I was like, dude, Angelo said I can do it. He don't care what I do. I'm not doing anything to fuck
do
with
whatever
him.
the fuck you want. I don't care. Look, there's room for everybody.
Mount Timer. You know what, brother? You know what? You're done. You're done.
Okay. You know what, Jake.
Yes.
Forget about Mountain Timer. He's having some fun. Let him have some fun.
Yeah. Go drink some more alcohol, Mountain Timer. Go drink some more alcohol.
It's all good.
Sorry.
Okay, so look, here's the thing. Forget the guy's just having some fun. Okay. Here's the thing though. Seriously, we're talking about a couple of guys that could really game change the landscape of wrestling. You got a guy who was raised in the business, who could afford to buy the business now. He's one of the wealthiest movie stars on the planet and started out as a wrestler, a ham and egger at that.
I'd much rather have him do that than a president.
Thank you. Exactly. You know, I understand that if the guy is willing to step up with the bucks, and we already know he's got what it takes mentally, he's got great creativity, he's got an incredible sense of what sells and what's good and what the public wants. If a guy comes along like that with another guy that's got a pocket full of money, you'd be crazy not to listen to them.
Now, the question is this, Angelo. When they make a purchase like that, let me ask you this. Yeah. You got a Rock that's got a lot of money. Now, The Rock isn't going to physically put his money up, is he? Or does he put a chunk of it
No,
up?
what he'll do is he'll put a portion of his money up as a good, it's what's called a good faith gesture. And then what he'll do is he'll go. Yeah. What he'll do then, Pesh, is he'll go to his sponsors. He'll go to Pepsi. He'll go to IBM. He'll go to
Nick Khan might know
King.
people.
Yeah, he'll go
NBC,
to Burger King.
NBC.
He'll go to all of his money sources, NBC television, Disney. The Rock is in like Flynn with Disney, brother.
Yeah, because
he's like this.
Yeah, he could also go to he could
I
also.
don't want Disney to own wrestling. They're very lefty.
And it's funny because before you came into the chat tonight, that's exactly what we were talking about. Disney was actually in the wrestling business for quite a while. In fact,
Interesting.
Yeah.
They were the XWF, which my friend Eddie Mansfield owned and ran at Disney. Also, Disney owns ESPN, which has a long history of wrestling.
Of course,
so
I know that.
They're not new to pro wrestling. Jake, knock it off. I'll cut you out of the stream, I swear.
Sorry.
I'm not even playing, brother. I will cut you out. Leave it. In fact, you know what? Jake, disable the chat.
I don't know how to do that.
I'll do it for you.
Disable it. I will. I'll go to private
See you later, chat. Blame Mountain Timer.
Oh man, why? This is like, Jake. You can't do this while I'm doing a live show, brother. You just can't.
Sorry.
You can't do it. Okay, Mountain Timer is blocked now.
Okay.
I would love to know why he lets this shit get into his skin. I really don't.
I don't know. I dealt with it for months.
To apologize to people. Now I have to apologize to my audience because Jake had a full-blown meltdown on the air. Okay.
No, he said I have videos on top of videos of him having meltdowns on my show and never even apologizing to me.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Oh, I know. I'm letting you hear that, Jake. You know that. I see you every night. You act like me and you are strangers.
I may have to take over the refs roundtable. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think maybe me and Amelia are going to have to do this next week by ourselves. You going to behave yourself?
I will behave. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do this thing. I'm gonna turn off the chat. I'm not gonna look at chat anymore
because he knows Pesh. He knows Pesh. I'll cut him at the kneecaps.
Yeah.
You know, I got money invested in this boy. Trust me, a lot of money.
Yeah. No, I got you. I know.
He don't want to lose this gravy train.
I'm sorry.
You know.
Sorry, Angela. I'm sorry.
You're quite welcome, and you're forgiven. Don't let it happen again.
I like that.
Yeah, exactly. He knows what I mean by that too.
This is the. I'm not looking at the comments, guys. If you're trying to goat me into reading comments, I'm not gonna read comments anymore.
Yeah, it's not that you don't have to read comments, dude. You are smart enough, dude, to look at Mount Timer's comment and then look at the comment right underneath it. You don't even have to read it. You know how much more stronger you would be if a comment has your name in it. Don't read it. Let Angelo address that. He's smart enough to see who's fucking with you.
Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the deal. Now that I got control back again, where the fuck were we? Amelia, where were we, kid?
Yes. We were talking about taking control. Yeah, The Rock taking control about the wrestling and beneficial to the business. And I also was game changer.
It might not even have been Mountain Timer, by the way. That might have been somebody pretending to be him.
Yeah.
So here's the thing then. That would surely change the landscape of wrestling. I had great hopes, and I said this before. I had great hopes that AEW would come along with a fresh new look, a new mental attitude, you know, a roster of young upstarts that were, willing to like throw caution to the wind and do old school wrestling proud, right? And then they did that for about 5 minutes. And then they went and did something that everybody does, and that's why they fail. They followed WWE. They followed WWE, and they failed. They followed them into failure. You can't do what WWE does and expect to stay around. They're only around, folks, because they can afford to be. They've been around for 70 years, and they've got a shit ton of money to back them up. A lot of fucking scratch. Tony Khan's got a lot of money, but he doesn't have 70 years of television behind him. Vince does. Okay? The thing that you got to do to change the game up in midstream, you got to do something that your opponent doesn't expect you to do, and at the least time that they expect it to happen. More importantly, you have to attack the strength of your opponent, not the weakness. If you attack your opponent's strength, you take that strength from them, and then they've got to regroup. But if you attack your opponent's weakness, all you're doing is making them stronger because they learn from their mistakes. So I always say, if you want to take somebody down, never attack their weakness. Attack their strength. You will take them down, and you'll keep them down. That's in business. That's in life. That's in a fight. That's in the boardroom. You understand? That's how it works. I'll shut up now. Pesci, smoke one for me.
I had to get a lighter.
I don't smell any herb yet, babe.
Yeah, I know. I just got the lighter. I was listening to what everybody was saying. There's a lot of good points being made.
Fire me one up, babe.
Come on, puppy. All right.
Hey,
what is it, Jake?
Well, before we end, we got to talk about the WrestleMania sign fire.
We got to do what?
Hold on.
The WrestleMania sign catching on fire, he said.
Oh, okay, gotcha. I'm waiting, Jake. Jake, I'm waiting on you, brother.
The fire. There was a fire at the Royal Rumble. The pyro for Ronda Rousey set off the. I can't do it right. Damn it! I'm looking. This is my first show.
So here's what I'm understanding. The pyro board short circuited and caught fire at the Royal Rumble. Is that what I'm understanding?
The WrestleMania sign.
Wow.
Is that what happened, Amelia?
I think I've heard something of it, but I didn't really get to hear how it happened.
I don't know if it was the WrestleMania sign or that sign. It was one of the signs.
Some of the, yeah, I just can't remember which one it was.
So Pesh, is that what happened? That happened?
Yeah, fans had to be cleared out of this section. Wherever it was where fans had to be cleared out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I didn't care enough to go into the story because it was just like, dude, they're just.
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Were there any injuries that we know of? Anybody got hurt? I hope not.
No,
not
that we know. Well, did get out of there, no injuries, but a lot of questions is. Wow, what do you do with the people that aren't Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns? What are you going to do with those guys?
Brother, they've been wearing the shit out of Brock and Roman for 8-9 years already.
Yeah.
What else? What are you going to do?
Think about this. Every time they don't have an idea, they have Brock Lesnar win. Money in the Bank. You had Brock Lesnar win it. And then you have the two belts. So when Brock's not winning on one company, you put him in a situation to win the other one.
What else is there to do? The last time that Roman and Brock were in Philadelphia, both of these guys were booed out of the building. They booed them out of the fucking building because they're just so sick of seeing them. They're all the time up here.
Yeah.
They're all the time. You don't know. They're here all the time.
Yeah.
And it's the same two guys. The same. You may as well just videotape the match and then just watch it because you're going to see the same match in person that you're going to see on television. It's the same match, the same move, the same screw job, the same this, the same that. It's just, it never changes. And I realized that Amelia's name's been up there for 20 minutes already. Holy shit.
By the way, we got to make up 9 minutes because somebody had audio issues.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
sorry.
we already made up the 9 minutes, brother.
Sorry.
Now I'm
I'll
on
take the
Angelo
blame.
time. I am on Angelo and Amelia time because Jake did a boo-boo and Jake's paying the price for it right now.
Yeah, I know.
So I am
No, I'll
on.
take the blame.
I'm on Pesci time right now. So, brother, what's going on? You got a couple
I'm free
things.
all the time. I'm free all the time. I'm never.
Yeah, well, you got the bowling show you're doing. You're doing my show. You're doing Mob Talk soon.
Yeah, whatever that is, let me know. I'm ready to do that.
Well, we're going to do Mob Talk in about 2 weeks. Are you cool with that?
Yes.
I had to get over some
stuff.
Well,
it's not on the 21st. On the 21st, on my birthday, I already have a show booked. So everything
okay.
Is the 21st.
Okay. Because I'm just getting back in the swing of things. You know, I don't know if you heard, but I lost my father.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm doing a show on my birthday. It's where I gather clips from Fox News.
Yeah.
And I play 3-minute clips, and I play them for Kenny. And then when the 3-minute clip ends, he has to fucking give his, what he thinks. And it's all the clips he hates, obviously.
Of course, yes, of course.
It's all righties. It's people from the right, basically.
Yeah.
You can't stand that. And I get a kick out of him losing it on me.
Oh, he must be in his glory right now with Jeff Zucker leaving CNN.
Yes. He tries that. I've never voted a day in my life. I only get a kick out of this shit because he hates this shit so much.
I haven't voted since 1976.
Yeah, I've never even voted one time. I don't know what they do. Like I said, when you go to jail as many times as you just worry about yourself. You just play the
last time I voted was for Jimmy Carter in 1976. I
heard my uncle say the same thing you did at a dinner.
Yeah, it's the last time I voted. Yep. I thought about voting for, what the hell was his name? Oh, Ross Perot some years ago.
Yeah.
And then, but I thought to myself, you can't trust the guy that doesn't blink. He's another guy from Texas. Amelia should know about that one. You know about him, Ross Perot from Texas?
No, I don't know.
Multi-billionaire, ran for president.
I know he was from Midland, I think. I'm close to my hometown.
30 years ago.
Yeah.
Interesting. He was a billionaire.
Oh my God, he had so much. This guy was one of the richest men in the world.
Oh yeah.
I think it was like number 5 or 6, Pesh. Number 5 or 6 richest guys in the world. So much money, you're like, it's like so disgusting. He had so much fucking money.
I didn't know there was another billionaire that ran that was president. I never knew that.
No, he was running for president, but
yeah, he ran, but he got beat out by George Bush,
the dad, I think. Yeah,
George Bush's father, the old man. Back in, oh my God, that probably like 84, maybe 80.
Yeah, because Clinton won when Bush re-ran.
Yeah.
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 So Ross Perot was before that, you're saying? Ross Perot was before Clinton?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
By the way, and here's the thing. We actually had somebody that was president that was in the wrestling business.
Yeah, we know.
Donald J.
I knew what Jake was going to say as soon as he said that.
Donald J. Trump.
Yep.
Funny.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you something about Donald J. Trump. I used to work for Donald J. Trump, and I met him twice.
I didn't know that.
In Atlantic City, he owned the Trump Plaza Hotel in Atlantic City, and he owned.
Where they have wrestling, right? Or was that the one in Vegas? He has one in Vegas too, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And he owned that, and he owned another place in Atlantic City called the Taj Mahal. It's now the Hard Rock Casino.
Yep.
And Donald Trump owned 5 casinos in Atlantic City. Of 5 of 13 were Trump casinos. And I met him twice, and I shook his hand a couple of times. But the time that got me, and I thought to myself, this is why this man's successful. It was the night of the Miss America pageant. And I'm standing on a railing with a big glass wall, kind of like about 4 feet high. So, so you wouldn't fall over. So, like a glass wall with a rail on top of it. Beyond that were escalators that went up and down. And of course, the Miss America pageant got out, and all the people were leaving. So here comes Mr. and Mrs. Trump. She gets on the escalator first. He gets on behind her. And what does he do? He does one of these. Hi, Angelo. He remembered who the hell I was. Okay? He remembered who the hell I was. Yeah. Hi, Angelo was his first words out of the Miss America pageant.
Sheriff Whitehead says Abe Lincoln was a wrestler.
Abe Lincoln was, in fact, a champion wrestler. He was the Illinois state champion.
Interesting.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he sure was.
He
was the Illinois state champion.
The more you know.
Lincoln, people don't know this. Abraham Lincoln was 6'7", and he talked like Pesci.
Interesting.
He had a real high voice. He looked like if his voice, was booming if you looked at you, right? But when he opened his mouth, he spoke like very like Joe Pesci, really. He sounded a lot like Joe Pesci.
Is there a way do they have recordings of his voice somewhere? Is there a way to hear it?
They actually do. In the Smithsonian, there is a recording and a face mask of Abraham Lincoln. They've got his voice and they've got his death mask.
Wow.
Yep. Back in the day, again, here we're talking about the Refs Roundtable. Anything goes on the Refs Roundtable. Because we could talk about anything here. When he died, when he died, he got shot in the back of the head by John Wilkes Booth. Well, what they had to do is they had to put putty in the bullet hole because it came out through his cheek. The bullet went through his head and it came out of his cheek, right? So they had to put putty, like Play-Doh, essentially is what it was, like putty to fill in the hole. And then they did a death mask of him. And that's what's on display. And you can see, you can go online and type in Abraham Lincoln's death mask. You'll see it. It's there. In fact, there's even hair in it from his beard.
Wow.
Yeah, and if you want to see Abraham Lincoln in his coffin, there's also a picture of that online. So, yeah, Abraham Lincoln was, in fact, a champion wrestler. He was the Illinois state champion, undefeated in over 100 fights.
Hey,
yes,
I got some photos here.
You got what?
Sorry.
Phone ringing. Your phone's ringing.
Let me unmute this real quick.
Hold on. I got a little something here for you.
What you got? Amelia, how you doing, kid?
Good.
Is that right? Is that it?
Here,
Oh, wow.
There it is.
Wow.
Yep. There you go.
Wow.
Abraham Lincoln's death mask. Sure is.
Yeah. By the way, Dishwasher says the NWA claims Lincoln was the first recognized champion.
Let me see. Abraham Lincoln was a top rope moonsault. No, it wasn't. Pook.
Hook.
Pook. Actually, his finisher, believe it or not, was a leg lock. Very similar to the figure 4.
Like this? I can't do the leg lock because I can't lock. But by the way, I have a
you
toy.
have to use well, first of all, you're using that's way too small. Lincoln was a lot taller than that.
But no,
Jake,
what I
put
was
your
doing.
toys away. I swear I'm going to smack you tonight. I really am.
Sorry.
Jake, we have a woman with us tonight.
Yeah.
Try to show some sense and decorum.
Angelo, I confirmed it. Whoever was in the chat, Jake, that was a fake Mountain Timer. Mountain Timer's been at work all day.
Oh, okay.
So somebody fucking with you, Jake. That's what I said, Jake. When you see somebody purposely trolling with you and you know them, why don't you give a second to go, you know what? Probably somebody just trying to get me to blow up.
That's exactly right. That's
Approach
exactly
him after the show. Hey, man, don't comment to me on the show. I do it all the time, Jake. Why do you think I have my mods handle the chat? I don't even have to address a troll.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Jake and I are going to have a little discussion about that after the show.
Like, take a lap, Dishwasher, Schmidt, Boston Spencer's, Sheriff is my dad, and Pook Ninja's Pook Ninja.
Yeah.
And Little Emmy is Little Emmy.
Well, of course.
Let's see what's to say. Why that? Ken says he was the champ of Oldham County. Foot racing champ of Oldham County was blah, 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 blah. Can't find any record of it. And said, okay, well, there you go then. How about that? I don't know what that meant, but
here's the thing. He says
he's the champ of Oldham County.
He was the champion of Oldham County. He won every weight class and then drank Gatorade to.
He said he was the foot racing. I don't know. It's something stupid.
Yeah, he also said he was Dink and Doink. He was Dink.
Said one night him and his son played Dink and Doink.
You spelled it wrong.
There you go.
P-E-S-C-I.
P-E-S-C-I.
It's an I?
Yeah.
I'll fix that right now. Sorry, Pesh.
Oh, no biggie.
There you go.
You see, that's so special. My nickname in prison was Future.
Well, there you go. So, I mean, everybody had their own banner tonight. So I had, got to pay tribute to Pesh.
I like coming on here. I'll come on anytime.
Good. Jake keeps it up, and you're going to be here a lot.
I just don't. A lot of people you have on, I don't know that error on some of them. I was like, Hogan and up. You'll have people that are pre-Hogan. I don't really know.
Well, I'll tell you what. It's been a raucous night. I think this was a very appropriate, fitting tribute to my late co-host, my friend, the late Jeff the Ref Robinson. I think Jeff would be proud of tonight's show. So, Jake, is there anything you want to say before we take everybody home?
Just watch the show every Tuesday. Will be me. I don't think Angela's going to be on it, but
one bet.
Every Tuesday and then every Thursday will be. What is the next guest? For,
Amelia and I will be right with you, making sure you don't go crazy with Mountain Timer.
Yeah. Also, this was a great show, guys.
Right, Amelia?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Also, what is the next guest for Wrestling with the Future?
My next guest, I'll tell you right now. I got to look at my schedule.
My fault for waking up so late. I didn't know today was the day you guys were doing that ref table show, or I would have came on.
Yeah, no, Pesh, this is absolutely perfect. Believe it or not, I've got if you're okay with it,
okay.
I have February 22nd open. If
Excellent.
you want to
So
do
the
mob
day
talk.
after I do that show, that would be a good. You don't mind if I put the clip that I was on the show tonight on my channel, do you?
Go for it, please.
Okay. Thank
Absolutely.
You know the little
share
clip we had?
Share with anyone. Sure.
Excellent. Thank you.
Absolutely, my brother. I have no problem with that
It
whatsoever.
was great to finally get on here, Angela. Like I said, I tell people all the time, you seem like a really nice guy, man.
Thank you. Do me a favor. I want to extend the olive branch to Kenny Bolin. Tell him I got no heat with him. See if he's cool with that, and maybe we can like bury the hatchet.
Yeah, I'll tell him after. I'll tell him in I'm actually probably going to be on. He'll just send me links. He claims he needs my help tonight, so I'll go on there. But I'll do it off air. I'll go. Hey, I've been doing stuff with what's his name. He said no hard feelings, basically something in that area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, no problem.
Yeah.
You know, to have
I don't think he really hates anybody anyway. I don't really think he hates you. I think your guys' little thing. Trust me, I've seen him hate worse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I have too. I have
Yeah,
too.
Yeah,
I know just more about the guys I do, Angelo. I just knew about his old shit that he did with Cornette, and I went on his show with him once last March, and we hit it off because he liked some of the shit I could bring, and I knew a lot about him that other people didn't pick up on.
Well, brother, we were talking 2-3 times a week there at one point.
That's what he said. He goes, me and him were blah, blah, blah. I've never heard him say anything bad. I always felt like he didn't tell us the real reason why you guys.
I'll tell you when we get off the air. I'll tell you the reason. So listen, we are going to say goodnight to everybody.
Nice meeting Emma, is it? Or?
Nice to meet you too,
Amelia.
I'm gonna everybody just stay where you're at. I'm gonna send everybody home. Well, listen, folks, this was a great fitting tribute to Jeff the Ref Robinson. This is episode 1, the return of the Roundtable. Join us next week, Tuesday, as Jammin' Jake Hudson attempts to go solo. We'll see.
I'll help him out
on the Roundtable. But in the meantime, for Sir Joe Pesci, Mike Laurie, for Amelia Firecracker Chapman, for Jammin' Jake Hudson, I'm Mad Dog DeCipio. Take care, everybody. We'll see you next time as we all continue to wrestle with the future.